Welcome to the NPTE Final Frontier podcast, helping one student at a time. Visit NPTEFF.com to enroll today so you can pass tomorrow. Thank you for joining us here on the NPTE Final Frontier podcast. My name is David.
And my name is Emily. Today, we will be interviewing the creators and founders of Phyzio Trivia. So we have Dr. Carmen Cox and Dr. Jouan Cox with us.
Woo!
Woo!
How are
Phyzio,
y'all?
great, doing great. And just, yes, and Phyzio Trivia was actually launched in 2021. Phyzio Trivia is a fun and interactive, but also an educational card game for all within the physical therapy field to enjoy. Whether it's a game night, it's an icebreaker, or you're just preparing for the NPTE, as most of our listeners are right now. The both of them have also founded Top-Notch Physical Therapy and Wellness, which is a mobile physical therapy practice, which is assisting patients within their homes and workplaces based in East Atlanta. Thank you so much for being on our podcast today. How are you?
Thank you. We are doing well. We are so happy that you guys have us tonight. We're more excited to tell our story, get the listeners to know more about Phyzio Trivia and just more about us.
Amazing. And I cannot wait to talk more about Phyzio Trivia because I love this product. But before we kind of dive into the product a little bit, first, tell our listeners a little bit about yourselves. I know you both met while pursuing your DPTs at Alabama State University. And to my understanding, you are both pretty competitive. So tell me a little bit more about how the competitions between you two began and just how you two met.
I guess so we met in PT school, and Carmen was actually my mentor. She was actually in the class ahead of me.
Right.
And we kind of met. Of course, we met through that. And we would kind of hang out from time to time. She would give me a few little pointers when it came down to testing and things like that. And we kind of it kind of evolved into us working out together. That was kind of the first thing that kind of led us into dating. You know, she was, you know how it is when you're the new kid on the block. You know the new student on campus.
Oh Lord.
You know, so she would, she liked me quite a bit. But
there you go.
Now, Emily, that don't need to sound right there.
But honestly though, it just kind of developed from there. It was a friendship in the beginning. We started working out, hanging out, and then it really just grew into more than that, and it's been history ever since.
I love it. Me and my boyfriend are actually both physical therapists. We both started as athletic trainers, and then we went on to physical therapy, but I love the competitive nature when your significant other is in the same field as you. It's awesome.
Right. And also, it just makes it more understanding, especially when we were in PT school, because a lot of people, I will honestly say, they probably would think something was going on if they realize, like, you tell them, okay, I'm going to the lab, and it's like 12 o'clock at night, or you're still at the school. You know, most people wouldn't understand that. They probably would be like, okay, what do you have going on for real?
Yeah, they're like, let me see your phone. Let me see your phone.
Studying.
Totally. So now a little bit more about the both of you. Why did the both of you become physical therapists?
Well, I would say, we both were student athletes for sure. But for me, it's something that I kind of grew into. Of course, me being a student athlete, I knew I wanted to work with athletes. But then as I started learning more and really researching about physical therapy, compared to me wanting to go to be a doctor, I just love the time that physical therapists spent with their patients and building a real relationship with them. Not saying doctors don't, but most people in healthcare don't get to spend that hour or 45 minutes or whatever that time is that we get to spend with our patients. And then just having in physical therapy, you're not stuck in a bubble. If you want to work in skilled nursing or the hospital or start your own business or, work in academia, the the options are limitless. And so if you ever get tired of one thing, you can always, I don't have to go and try to get another degree and find something else. I can always find something within my own profession to try something new and be refreshed.
Yes, no, I totally agree. I love all those aspects of physical therapy, especially like you said, we're one of the only fields I can really think of where we get to treat our patients so frequently, so many times per week, so much time spent with them. It's really great to create all of those relationships with our patients and always have the options to switch realms within our field if we need to.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Jouan?
So, like you said, we were both student athletes, and of course, it was one of those situations where I kind of bummed out my knee. Well, for my meniscus, had a meniscectomy and had to go to physical therapy, and that was really my first experience. At this time, I was in high school, so I was still trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. And while in physical therapy, I really just fell in love with it, and I just kind of just kept that same drive and desire to be a physical therapist all through college as well. And it really just kind of manifested into me actually being one. And I feel like I made one of the greatest decisions I could have ever made in my life. I always, when it happened, I always remember kind of my dad. He was like, upset at the situation, me having to have surgery and all of that. And after I finished school, I kind of made a joke like, look, everything literally happens for a reason. So I feel like that injury is what really got me into the point that I am now, being a physical therapist, meeting Carmen, even the kids, everything literally happens for a reason, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I think that's so important and valuable to have that sort of a mentality throughout life, is that just everything happens for a reason. And that injury and that experience that you went through, it led you to exactly where you're at right now, which Absolutely. Is with Carmen, a beautiful family, an amazing career, and the creation of Physio Trivia.
So while we're talking about Physio Trivia, talk to us a little bit more about how did you get into creating this, and where did you guys kind of stem all of these thoughts from?
Carmen. It actually started from Carmen. Carmen is our visionary here, but literally it started with a dream. She said, and she kind of brought it to my attention. Like, hey, I had a dream about a game, and in the beginning it wasn't Physio Trivia. We didn't know what it was, but she was like, I had a dream about creating a physical therapy game. And initially I was like, okay, whatever. Let's move on. But she said she had the dream again. I was like, well, you know what? I don't think I've ever heard of a actual physical therapy game. There's different games that we play, and there's, we kind of come up with different things to be creative within the classroom and when studying and while in the clinic. But I don't think I've ever heard of an actual physical therapy game. And it really just kind of grew from that idea, having the concept of the game being what it is now. It just kind of came from us just kind of talking and us bouncing ideas off of each other. And here we are.
That's
Perfect.
great.
So I think to give our listeners a little bit better of an idea of what the game is, because I keep just hyping it up so much because I love it. Talk to us now about, how do you play the game? What is included within the game?
Okay, so the game, to make it so it's not long. Okay, so the game has 3 different cards. Okay, so if you think about it, it's almost like a taboo, but with action, right? So with physical therapy, we like to move, we like to touch, we like to do things. So you have one card, which is called our Phyzio card. This card will have a word on the center, and it'll have 3 or 4 words at the bottom that you can't say. So I'll give you an example.
Yeah, hit us with one.
Yeah, I got one. All right. So one of the words is plan of care, right? So, but the words at the bottom I can't say is frequency, duration, or discharge. I can't use any of those 3 words to try to get you to say to get my team to say plan of care.
That's
Would
awesome.
I be able
love
to
it.
say POC? Like, can you give an acronym?
No.
Oh, darn it.
Emily, that's
You can't say
blatant
so
cheating.
you can't say it rhymes with, it
Oh.
starts with, yeah, and then if you skip, it also gives a point to the other team.
All right,
That's
my gears are turning right now. I'm trying to think of a million different things I could act out. I'm like
Right.
moving around my room right now.
Right. So that's the blue, what we call the blue, that's the blue card, but it's called the Phyzio card. So that one's the blue card. Then we have our red card, which is a we got action card. So just like it says, we got action. So you're actually going to do whatever's in the card. So this could be an exercise. This can be, so for example, this one I have shoulder shrugs. So you can't say anything. You would just start moving your shoulders up and down. But your team has to guess that's what you're doing. So they will be saying it, but you can't say anything.
That's awesome. That sounds like something that would definitely be picked up by Fox or NBC or something like that.
We're gonna speak that to existence, okay? I
Yeah.
received that, okay? Another example will be dysdiakinesia. So that's another one. If you doing your hand movements, keep doing that, but they have to guess that's what you're doing.
This game is like the perfect storm of all of my favorite games. I feel like you're playing like charades, but you're also playing like Heads Up, like Ellen's game.
Oh,
but
yeah,
PT
yeah, okay,
edition.
yeah.
There's so many different things going on, which makes it so much fun.
Right.
But I feel like this is also so educational at the same time without even realizing you're learning in the process.
Exactly. And speaking about educational, so then we have one more card, which is, it's an orange card, but this is our tag team card. So this is when you grab somebody from your team and you use them to, it's an action as well, and you guys act out what's on the card. So this one is really good for your special tests. So if it says Hawkins Kennedy, you got your teammate, they grab you, they do the test, but your other teammates have to guess that's the special test you're doing. So if it says anterior jaw test, you actually, y'all getting on the floor, getting on your knees, and you're doing the test, but your team has to know, that's when it comes like, oh my God, I gotta remember this special test. Did we just learn this? Or, do I remember this from first year? Or if you're studying for your boards, you can just pull out certain cards and you guys practice it. So there's so many different things you can, like I said, use this for, not only for game nights, but icebreakers and for studying as well. So
yeah, for sure.
And it's very fast paced. So it's only 1 minute round. So basically you're trying to get as many points as possible in that 1 minute.
So within that time limit, talking about time limits and studying and education, of course, we got to ask you, I know we spoke about it, but how would this game benefit specifically someone studying for their NPTE exam, their NPTE?
Well, mostly because I also help people create study calendars. And so I'm really like, when we were thinking about this game, I really specifically wanted to make sure that topics and terms that we know we can see on the NPTE was in the game. So a lot of this stuff possibly you will see on, in the test, whether that's certain the terms or the actions that you have to do. At some point you will have to know them or you will see them. And so we always want to, always say, when learning something, it's better, to create new pathways with the brain, right? So whether that's you see it first and then you hear it, you touch it, you do it. And so Phyzio trivia is just another pathway, because when you're, we want to give that aha moment when you're taking the exam and you're trying to remember, okay, what does that special test do? And then you remember, oh my God, I remember when we was playing that game and, my classmate, when we did this test, what test was it? What test was it? And you remember it, just, you created that new pathway playing the game. And so that's what we wanted to, create with that game. And then also you can just, pull certain cards out.
I mean, and we're talking about the ultimate study break here, right? One thing that we did do when studying for the boards with myself and Carmen also, but with my class, we did a lot of group study, during PT school. So in studying for the boards, you kind of going at it really hard. The physio trivia is what you can do to kind of breathe a little bit. You can save it to the end of the night, when you're just having some drinks with friends, or it can be right in the middle of it and you're trying to piece everything together. It's a great way to just kind of, let your hair down a little bit. Let's have a little fun because we've been stuck in the books for however many hours.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's why I love it even more, because like you said, you're taking a break, but you're not taking a break at the same time.
Exactly.
It's like you said, it's a way to let loose and have a little bit more fun, but you're still putting in the time studying and adding in all of these different components of not only, trying to think of different words to explain things, but you're also acting things out. You're practicing things on each other. You're staying engaged in so many different ways without even feeling like you're studying.
While at the same time, it's also a card game. So there's no big board involved. You don't have something the size of a textbook. You're carrying around cards.
Right. Exactly.
Now, while we're talking about students a little bit more, I want you guys to give me one piece of advice that you would give to a physical therapy student right now listening. I know it's so hard. It can be related to anything, but just one piece of advice for students.
For students, I would say, there's so much I could say, but trying to think what I would have used. I could put it all in one. I would just say, remember your why. I know sometimes we can be overwhelmed and life happens. But just remember your why, especially while you're in school, because it can just be a lot. And sometimes in school, you probably want to give up or try to remember, like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? But if you remember your why and who you're doing it for and what your purpose is, I think that would help you, have a vision and staying clear of what the ultimate goal is, which is to help those in need and those who need your services. You never know, somebody is waiting for you to be done with PT school for you to help them. And if you think about, like, if I don't finish this person, you don't know who that person is or who God is gonna, put in your path. But that person is waiting for you, for your services, for your knowledge, for your relationship, for your spirit, because as physical therapists, we are more than just physical therapists. We are friends, we're counselors, we're whatever that patient needs in that moment, a shoulder to cry on. It's just, it goes far further than just me telling you what exercise to do, and helping you get better, but also just helping them get better, mentally as well, physically and emotionally. Most therapists just take that on because of the relationships we build. So I would just say, remember your why, and keep God first. That's what I would say.
That's so important. And I think both of those just very, very important to have. So now we have a fun question, a surprise question for you both. So we know you both said about your competition and everything. We learned so much about physio trivia, but now what is your all-time favorite board game or card game? You can't say physio trivia.
Definitely good. I'm gonna say card game
Spades. I'm not even gonna lie. It's gonna be very simple. Spades.
Hey, go for the both of you.
Yes. Like,
Awesome.
I'm very, very competitive. I mean, like, Boys and Girls Club champ type.
I was going to say that is a quick response, so I know I will never play you in spades with how quickly you answered that question.
Yeah, it's like, some people say like I don't play spades because people get too serious. It's like it's serious, but it's all fun, but I'm serious at the same time. Like, don't think you're gonna come on this table and renege and do anything else without us talking smack.
That's awesome. Emily, what about you? What's your favorite game that you're gonna go with?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm being put on the spot. My favorite game, oh my gosh,
Ooh.
Uno.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that was
Uno
Great.
is a good one.
that's a close runner-up for me, for sure.
Actually, my favorite game right now is a game called Telestrations. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. You pretty much you get a pad with like a dry erase marker, and you get a phrase, but you have to draw out what your card says and then, pass it along and guess. So it's kind of like a game of telephone, but through pictures.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
It's fun.
That's pretty
Right.
cool.
David, what about you?
I was actually going to go with Uno, and that's why I actually had to change the question from just board game to card game, because I was having an internal battle whether or not Uno was actually a board game.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's a card game.
Or what they would call like a tabletop.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes,
Yes, a tabletop. So yes, I'm definitely sticking with Uno, and I'm still not gonna be playing spades with the both of you.
All right. Well, I think we could keep this conversation going all night. But for our listeners, can you let us know how our listeners can get in touch with you, find you guys on social media, and especially learn more about Phyzio Trivia? How can they find that out?
Yes, you guys can follow us on all social media. So Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Phyzio Trivia. So that's PhyzioTrivia. And then also you can find us on our website. That's where you will go purchase the game as well. And that's www.physiotrivia.com.
Yes, and thank you both so much for coming onto our podcast and being our guest today.
No problem. I hope that once you guys play Phyzio Trivia the next time we speak with you guys, or if you're talking to somebody, that you say that Phyzio Trivia would be you guys' favorite game. We do have, I know we're about to go, but we do have much more to come. We are going to be working on expanding Phyzio Trivia as well, and also expanding it into different professions. So I just want everybody to be out on the lookout for that. It doesn't just end with Phyzio Trivia. We have much more to come that we've already started working on.
Now that you heard our interview about Phyzio Trivia, here is a quote from LeBron James. People will hate you, rate you, shake you, and break you. But how strong you stand is what makes you. So that's right, Final Frontier Warriors. No matter what happens out there, there's always going to be that noise surrounding you. There's always going to be that distraction that's going to try to stop you. But no matter what, you have to stand up for yourself, stand up for your dream, and go after it. So go after this exam. And then after that, go after all of your dreams and never stop pursuing them. You are powerful. You are strong. You are a Final Frontier Warrior. You will pass.
Thank you very much for listening. For more information on the NPTE Final Frontier, please visit npteff.com. You can also check out all of our social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Till next time, have a great day and a powerful tomorrow.